in Italy today, aren't we? The Prime Minister going to unveil a €10 billion plan. Of course, is to help boost the economy.
Of course. Matteo Renzi is really trying to succeed where his predecessors have failed. His government thinks these proposals could boost growth by as much as 0.8%. Now, after years of tax rises, Renzi wants to actually bring down the amount that Italians pay on their personal income. He hopes that that will boost employment and as well as consumer spending. Now, we'll be getting the real details later on today, but we do understand that the tax reductions will mostly be financed by budget cuts, particularly in the military sector. That €10 billion figure is also expected to include some investment, notably in the Italian school system. Renzi's trying to overhaul the labour market as well. He's looking at an extension of unemployment benefits as well as a degree of job security for newly hired workers. Employment, of course, remains a key issue for the Italian government. In January, the number of out-of-work Italians rose to a record 12.9%. It's even higher for young people. Unemployment for those between the ages of 15 and 24 climbed to over 42%.
Now, Europe's banking sector, of course, has been in the spotlight. European finance ministers still trying to reach a deal on how to wind down failing banks, aren't they?
Yeah, they've been meeting in Brussels to try and get themselves on the same page, but so far they haven't been able to get beyond disagreements on how to unwind lenders and who should pay for that process. Now, their goal is to build a European banking union, which they say will prevent a future European debt crisis. But time is running out to put it in place before the European Parliament breaks in April for elections. Jonathan Crane has the details.
The clock's ticking for the EU's flagship fiscal reform package as finance ministers thrash out the finer details of a banking union.
It's about breaking the vicious circle between banking debt and sovereign debt. It's about avoiding the economic crisis happening again. It's finally a question of unifying the interest rates in the Eurozone.
The banking union's set to be built on two pillars, supervision and resolution. The supervision part's already been agreed, with the European Central Bank due to oversee the Eurozone's biggest 130 banks from November. But the second pillar, the single resolution mechanism, is proving hard to cement. Designed to deal with failing European banks before they can damage the wider economy, several aspects of the mechanism are up for debate. First, who decides whether to wind up a bank? EU ministers don't want to give total control to Brussels, which has warned of politics slowing down the process if individual states get a say. Second, if the decision's made to rescue a bank, who takes the initial hit? Should it be the EU states that share the burden, or should it be the bank's creditors? Germany's adamant it's the latter.
It makes no sense to constantly talk about the taxpayer no longer having to foot the bill, and then not to apply the rules about owners and creditors taking the risk at the start.
The logistics of an accompanying clean-up fund paid for by the banking industry must also be decided. Failure to conclude a deal before the European Parliament breaks for elections in April would mean months of further delay and uncertainty.
Let's turn our attention to the markets now. We saw a pretty slow day on Wall Street on Tuesday. The major indices all ending in negative territory. The Nasdaq down about 0.6% there. Asian markets also slipping this Wednesday. Japan's Nikkei down over 2%. Automakers Toyota and Honda are among the biggest losers of the session so far.
Now, Barack Obama has been shopping, hasn't he? A proper shopping excursion trip, this.
Yeah, he made a very surprise stop at a Gap store in New York City to pick out presents for his two daughters and, of course, his very stylish wife, Michelle. Let's see what he came up with.
So we got two down and one to go.
Now, Michelle, I have no idea what.
Okay, well, we do.
Maybe we should buy some socks.
Socks? Oh my gosh, our socks are so cute, but I think it could go a little bit better.
Yeah, we need to be more creative.
Buying socks for the First Lady of the United States. I don't know if that was going to be a really successful present, but he did, of course, have a much more serious message. The president has been trying to focus on income inequality in the United States. He's trying to get Congress to raise the federal minimum wage from $7.75 to $10.10 an hour. Gap is one of the few stores that's already taken action to try and boost their employees' salaries. So he was doing a good deed for Gap as well as for his family there.
I hope he got the colour right of the socks.
I hope so
obviously.
as well.
Matching ones too is very, very important. Kate, thanks a lot. Kate with business. Now coming up, 3 Rubik's Cubes done in a row, underwater, in 1 minute.